Alright, a whole bunch of vocabulary words. First word is a transversal. A transversal is a line that cuts through at least two other lines. So, this is my transversal.
We need three colors, right?
When you have a transversal cutting through parallel lines, like in this example, these lines are parallel, then you have a lot of special properties, Nima.
I knew that.
Spencer, back up front.
Thank you.
So, the first special kind of lines when you have two parallel lines cut by a transversal are corresponding angles. Corresponding are angles that are in the same position on different lines, and they are congruent. So, right here, that bluish angle is above the parallel line on the left-hand side of the transversal. It is congruent to this line that is on top of the parallel line to the left-hand side of the transversal. These two lines are in the same position on different lines. By the same position, I mean they are on the top left-hand side. On the top right-hand side, we have other pairs of angles that are corresponding. These purple angles correspond because they are both on the top right-hand side of their parallel line. Below the parallel line, on the bottom left-hand side, we have those orange angles that are corresponding. And on the bottom right-hand side, we have these light purple angles that correspond. So, if you imagined taking this line with all those colors and scooting it down, everything would be on top of the angle it corresponds with. Green is on top of green, orange is on top of orange. This whole picture gets scooted down and they overlap with their corresponding angles. Okay? Can everyone imagine that? Nima, back to your seat. I said you need at least three because your fourth color can be white.
Or gray.
Or gray or whatever. Spencer, headphones out. Alright, your next set of relationships are alternate interior angles. Alternate interior are angles on the inside. Interior, inside, that means the same thing. So angles on the inside of the parallel lines, but on opposite, get away till we're done with this. Opposite sides of the transversal. Alternate means opposite. So alternate interior means opposite inside angles. Here are your parallel lines. Here is your interior between. And alternate interior angles are congruent. So, you have to know where the interior is. Here is an angle on the inside, this orange one. It is on the inside, it is on the yellow part. Its alternate interior angle is on the opposite side down below. So these orange angles are alternate interior angles. They are on opposite sides of this transversal line, on different parallel lines, on the inside. These bluish-green angles are your other pair of alternate interior angles. They're on the inside in the yellow part, on opposite sides of the transversal. One's on the left, one's on the right, and on different parallel lines. Because this big angle and this big angle are congruent. They're the same measurement. The little orange angle is congruent to the little orange angle. They're the same. Alternate exterior is very similar, boys. But alternate exterior are angles on the outside. Outside for exterior. So angles on the outside of the parallel lines and on opposite sides of the transversal. They are again congruent. So if between the parallel lines is inside, not between the parallel lines means outside. So these are opposite outside angles. This orange angle is the little orange angle on the outside. It is alternate exterior to this little orange angle. Alternate exterior angles are congruent. It's both the little ones on the outside. Here's a big green angle. It is alternate exterior from that other big green angle.
What is the last word say?
Congruent, just like all the other lines, the ones that I highlighted that also say congruent.
How hard is the test?
So, to recap, corresponding angles are congruent. They match up. They're in the same position on different lines. Alternate interior angles are congruent. They're both little or they're both big. Alternate exterior angles are congruent. They're on outside of the parallel lines. They're both little or they're both big. They're congruent. So corresponding alternate interior, alternate exterior are all congruent. These three types of angle relationships are all congruent. Okay?
Can you go back up?
Last one on here is consecutive interior. If alternate interior means opposite, what do you think consecutive means? Same side. So, consecutive interior are angles inside the parallel lines. Interior means inside. On the same side of the transversal. That's what the consecutive part says. And what do you think their relationship is? Let's think again. Because here's the inside. And here are the angles that are consecutive interior. One little, one big. They're not adjacent because they don't share one angle or one side. They're not congruent. What would they add up to? They're supplementary. Because this big angle is the same as this big angle, they're congruent. These two make a straight line. So if these make a straight line, these would make a straight line. They're supplementary. They add up to 180. These two angles, one big, one little, add up to 180. When you have two parallel lines cut by a transversal, all the little angles are congruent, all the big angles are congruent, and one little plus one big makes 180 degrees. All right, turn the page on the back, use your definitions, try to fill out all of the angle measurements. It's all the definitions on this front page. I can leave this up here so you don't have to flip back and forth. Yes. Oh, supplementary.
Because it is 6 down. Yeah. Alternate. It's on the other side.